Hey there, boils and ghouls. It's your friend Tats, and I'm back with another video. We have a new 4K Blu-ray to talk about today, and I'm really happy to get this one. This is courtesy of Blue Underground, and I have to be honest, I'm getting really impressed with Blue Underground. It's like, man, their output has definitely picked up here in the last number of months. It's like, man, I just did, what was it, Night of the Blood Monster here a little while ago, and I think they've already got another two. Um, Maybe even three releases already geared up. So, yeah, Blue Underground's starting to make a comeback, and I'm here for it. And especially if they could do stuff like this. We have, they release this on Blu-ray. Now we got it on 4K. Bob Clark's 1972 Deathdream, and man, I am so happy to have this because now it is so nice to have. I call it the Bob Clark trilogy, which is, Bob Clark in his career, written and or directed three horror films. He'd been involved, as a producer in some capacity on other films like Deranged and Popcorn, but, he really was just a director of only three horror films, which I do have to admit, I'm kind of conflicted about that because on the one hand, like he did such a great job making horror films, and he was, he had a great eye for storytelling and ways of building suspense and creating tension and things like this. So it's like on the one hand, it's kind of a shame that he didn't continue making horror films in his career. May he rest in peace, and his son. But at the same time, it's like, well, if he didn't move away from horror films, now that I think about it, you think about Murder by Decree. I think some people kind of consider that a horror film as well. It definitely, I don't think he felt it was a horror film, but I think that, yeah, I think there are some people, as far as they're concerned, that movie definitely has a very horror movie vibe, even though it's a Sherlock Holmes, Conan Doyle story. But anyway, I'm getting off point. So anyway, so yeah, he did the three horror films. He did Children Shouldn't Play with Dead Things, which I already did a review for that 4K a while back. That was a trip. And then Black Christmas, and now we get to do Death Dream, like I said, from 1972. And look at that artwork. Isn't that cool? Like, this slipcover is pretty boss, man. You got the, it's like the lettering is raised and everything on the front, too. And even the logos down here, the 4K Blu-ray, Blue Underground. Yeah, nothing on top there, but still, look at that. Look at that classic artwork there. And, so yeah. Even though I'm conflicted he didn't continue doing horror movies, we did get three really good ones from him. And just wow. And, here we go on the back. And then you got the raised lettering there, too. So that's pretty cool. There you go. The special effects debut of Tom Savini. So even though he collaborated with Alan Ormsby on the special effects. So, and here we go on the 4K. All we have are just audio commentaries. The two original ones, one with co-producer, director Bob Clark. The second one with writer / uncredited makeup artist Alan Ormsby. Then a new audio commentary with film historians Troy Howarth and Nathaniel Thompson in the theatrical trailer. Disc 2 has all the audio commentaries, theatrical trailer. But let's see what else we have. A recollection with star Anya Liffey, aka Anya Ormsby, and writer, makeup artist Alan Ormsby. Notes for a homecoming interview with composer Carl Zittrer. Let's see, flying down to Brooksville, interview with production manager John Bud Cardos. Yeah. Tom Savini, the early years. Death Dreaming interview with star Richard Backus. The first Annie interview with actor Gary Swanson, who, yeah, that was the thing, in the very opening of the film, especially now with 4K and HDR, you're probably going to notice that Andy in the very prologue of the film is definitely a different person than the Andy that shows up later in the film. That's because at first they hired this actor Gary Swanson to play the part, and then they got somebody else to do it, or Richard Backus to do it, not somebody else. Screen test with original Andy, Gary Swanson, Alan Ormsby student film, alternate opening titles, and still galleries. So yeah, so you get a nice little bit of bonus features on here, and just Wow, look at that. It's like Blue Underground, man. They really do a great job on their releases, and I am so hoping that it. Like I said, it looks like their output is starting to pick up, and I'm here for it. I mean, they got a lot of stuff. I would love to see them do 4Ks for. Hopefully, in the near future, we could get them to do one for, like stage fright, or the Stendhal syndrome, or what are some other ones? They got a couple of them I need to pick up. I need to get Uncle Sam on 4K, and I need to get God Told Me To. I need to get those on 4K. Let's see, what else? What other ones was I thinking about? Shockwaves. Be nice to see them do a 4K for Shockwaves, and on and on. There's all kinds of movies that they put out on DVD and or Blu-ray over the years. It would be great to see them do 4K, for some of these. But here we go. I showed you the back, but so you can see it again. This is a genuinely good movie. And then also too, voila, you get different cover art. Dead of Night, which was one of the original titles of the film before they saw on Deathdream. The Dead of Night changed the lives of many and ended the lives of some. Slightly different back there. But yep, so there you go. Pretty basic, pretty simple. There's your discs, there's your Blu-ray, there's your 4K. And like I said, alternative artwork, which you can see is just the same artwork as the slipcover. So that's why I thought I'd put in the alternate artwork, just try to make it a teeny bit more interesting, Hang on a second. Oh, man. I gotta do it just right, man. But anyway, so, yeah, really happy to have this. And, just the Blue Underground did actually an amazing job with the 4K transfer on this, and it looks so good. I will say, it's an older film from 1972, so don't go in expecting it to look like a movie that was made and came out just this year. It's not going to look like that. It's an older film. There's definitely film grain in the picture quality, but it's not so bad as to be like disturbing or take away from your viewing enhancement of the film. It's a beautiful transfer. I think it's probably about the best transfer you're ever going to get on here. Let's see here. You got DTS HD Master Audio. Honestly, it's like I had no problems with this. The picture quality was really good. The sound quality was very, very professional. Very, very good. Very standard. Standard is not the right word, but overall, just yeah. There's some, man, it was kind of nice to pick up some of the details and stuff. And one thing I was kind of paying attention to is, like the house that the family lives in the movie. I like how the house, the way the production design went. You had this really nice kind of, the house has a kind of like lived in feeling. You could tell it's like a house that, a family had lived in. It's got wear and tear. The paint on the walls isn't exactly the best, the most eye-catching. There was a scene with Andy in his bedroom where he's rocking back and forth. Like in the background, you see a window, and then it's kind of cool to see, like the railings on the porch. You can see like the paint is chipping and stuff like that. And I mean, it's very it's very organic. Like I said, you definitely get the feeling that this is very much like a a house that people have lived in. And I never really noticed it. I know it was. I'm pretty sure if I bothered to look, but I really noticed it when watching the 4K that there was kind of a nice there was a nice light switch in Andy's room. There was like the Mystery Machine and Scooby-Doo on there and stuff. And I remember like when I was a little kid, I had that exact same light switch in my bedroom. I remember having that, and just like to see that was really impressive. The HDR does definitely help, even though some daytime scenes feel a little bit darker than they should be, but it's not too bad. I will say, of course, with, we all know Tom Savini as a master of gore effects and everything else, and, this is nothing to take away from him. But you got to remember, this is pretty much the first movie that he did special effects for, so it's not going to, the effects are not going to be the most eye-popping you've ever seen, But one thing I will say that I do appreciate, when I had the old Blu-ray of this movie, it was kind of annoying to watch because, like the blood in the scenes would look more like red nail polish, or like Savini himself would say he didn't like it because it looked like melted crayons, and it was kind of like that 3M blood that they used to use. But I will say, thanks to the 4K and the HDR, it does give the blood kind of a more darker, you know, it makes the blood look a little bit more realistic. Like, it's not the most authentic looking blood you've ever seen in a movie, but it definitely looks a lot more realistic than that old fashioned, um, you know, like on the old fashioned like DVD or Blu-ray of this movie. It's like the blood does look a little bit more realistic. You could definitely tell like when Andy transforms, like here into the vampire monster. It's like you could tell it's a teeny bit more smoothed out, but still you could tell it's pretty rough looking, and you could definitely tell like the paint, kind of like grease paint and stuff like that on his face and everything. But I mean it's a small price to pay, and just to have this on 4K, and now like I said, Bob Clark only made 3 horror films, and now to have all 3 of them on 4K, that's a good feeling. It really is. So yeah, the only bad part though is like now that I think about it, we got, the 3 Bob Clark horror films. We got, Deathdream, Children Shouldn't Play with Dead Things, and Black Christmas. We got those on 4K. We were lucky enough to get Christmas Story on 4K. I just think it's really sad because considering it's Disney / 20th Century Fox, I don't know. Maybe Sony can pull some strings, or I don't know, maybe Kino Lorber or somebody can get a hold of it, but I don't think we're going to be seeing Porky's on 4K anytime soon. As awesome as that would be, it's like I would really enjoy to have the 3 Porky's films on 4K. I have 2 and 3 on Blu-ray thanks to Kino Lorber, but man, if there was some way that they could manage to do all 3 films on 4K, that'd be sweet. Or somebody do it. But anyway, so yeah, I'm not upset that I bought that. And one thing that was really nice was for a while there that Blu-ray Underground 4Ks were ridiculously expensive. They really were. For a while there, they were like $50. Like $49.99 plus tax. And stuff like that. So for a while there, their 4Ks were a little too pricey. This one here I got for $28.99 plus tax, which I mean that's reasonable, for a 4K and everything else, and it's a boutique label and stuff. And but even like back in the day when Blue Underground started putting out 4Ks, that was about the going rate for a Blu-ray for a 4K from Blue Underground. But then for a while there, like I said, the price skyrocketed, and they were almost impossible to get your hands on them. I mean, unless you were rich, but it was nice to see this one had dropped down into a much more affordable price range, and is nice to get it. And so now I'm happy I can sit here and say I have the 3 Bob Clark horror films on 4K. I will say though, if 101 Films were to, a while back, if you remember, they put out a nice Blu-ray box set with all 3 films in it. And it was beautiful, the cases, it was uniform, and it was just a beautiful, gorgeous collector's set. If they were to be able to like redo that, but do it with 4Ks this time, I'd be willing to double dip and get that set as well, just to have all of them. But for now, I'm definitely happy that, thanks to good old Blue Underground, they didn't let me down on this one, and I hope they keep going, man. I hope their output's going to just keep. They're just going to keep chugging along and just keep doing more and more. And oh man, I can't wait to see what they do for the future. Hopefully we're going to get some really good stuff from them. So that's it. So if anybody took the time to watch this, I thank you for doing it. I appreciate you for doing it. I also hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, could you please leave it a like? If you haven't already, please go ahead and subscribe to my channel. And that's it, boils and ghouls. Take care. Have a good night. And I'll see you all later.